Good, Raider Nation. Get on in here. Welcome in. A few things to chop it up about. Hope everybody's doing well. Let's jump right into it. Let's get a little business taken care of right quick. So, AP has started to round out his staff in general and as a whole. So, you could say Luke Getsy might have made this selection or had something to do with it or wanted this particular guy. But they grabbed a guy named Rich Scangarello, I believe is how you say his name. So, looking at his resume, up until now, I didn't really see anything that stood out as why they would have wanted to hire this guy. He has been ran twice. Like, that's what stood out to me. He had stints in the league, various teams. He even played, coached the Oakland Raiders in 2009, the offensive quality control guy. He got ran by the Donkeys in 2019 by Coach Fangio when Dick Fangio was the head coach in Denver because the offense was trash. He was the whole core there at the time. So then he went on to University of Kentucky, coached them. He was going to be, he was the old core. He was the offensive coordinator at the University of Kentucky. Got ran after about 7 months on the job, something like that. Not even a whole full calendar year on the job. He got ran. Got hired in February and ran in November. 9 months. Wasn't in football at all last year, 2023. And then the Raiders hire him off the couch, 2024, to coach the running backs. So I'm going to just go ahead and say it, man. This is the first suspect hire, in my opinion. Like, why this guy? Seriously. That's a serious question. Why this guy? We're going to try to, look into that as we go forward here into the new season, which is about to start next week. You got that little early free agency period that everybody gets excited about. Really, none of the contracts can be finalized, but guys can get deals done. In principle, they can talk to people, saying who they're signing and whatnot as the new year gets started. But this is an interesting hire, and I feel like a bit of a suspect hire. If I'm being honest. Okay, so I'm gonna leave that at that. Rich Scangarello, welcome to the team, sir. And we will give you a chance. But they follow from Burners podcast with Raider Ragu got you as suspect. So we're gonna be watching you closely. All right. Well, speaking of follow from Burners, we did the episode about disrespecting AP and Max, right? It said stop disrespecting AP and Max Crosby, right? Stop disrespecting Antonio Pearson, Max Crosby. Why did I see somebody with a huge platform, way more people following him than follow me. And I'm trying to decide whether to stay on the high road and not even mention names. But, you savvy Raider people, if you're on YouTube or whatever, even on the Apple Podcast, you'll see somebody with a bigger platform than me in this game came with the stop disrespecting AP or the disrespect of AP in his title of his episode. I just found it funny, man. I just said, once again, it's proof. You know what I'm saying? They follow from burnt nerves. B, that shit is not, it is a, kind of just a axiom or whatever, you know what I'm saying? A little quip, but it's real. It's real, bro. All of a sudden, he on some disrespect of AP after we was already on that. Now, I was saying it in terms of, guys mentioning his car and shoes and jackets and all that. And they don't do that on any other football coach in the NFL ever in the history of it. They've never done that to anyone. And that's what I was referring to. Now, this guy was referring to the betting line from one of the betting websites that broke a line on Coach of the Year odds. I think they had Harbaugh as like the leading guy, had a couple other guys on there. But the disrespect on what he was saying is that AP wasn't even on the odds. He didn't even get odds. He wasn't even mentioned. His name's not even on there. And yeah, that could be construed as a bit of disrespect, and it is. It's really like a Raider diss, right? Just saying that we're not even gonna include you guys in this. You could also say, well, he had that half a year already, so they were kind of sticking to guys that's going to be first year coaches or whatever. Which it's an argument for that, but we're going to take it as another sign of disrespect, right? The nation is going to take that as another sign of disrespect by not even having our coach as a coach of the year candidate. We don't have a quarterback, right? At the time they put those odds out, the Raiders, we had Aiden O'Connell. So maybe is that a shot at Aiden saying, we're not convinced with him. If he's going to be their guy, then we can't even bet on there's no need to even have odds on Antonio Pierce. Or is it because, they don't know the QB situation overall? Like, what are we going to do with the 13th pick? Are we trying to trade up and get into the top 3? Everybody's just saying that, just throwing that sentence around or whatever, as if that's simple. When there's several other teams ahead of us that need quarterbacks. There's enough ahead of the Raiders that need quarterbacks that could trade and make as good or better packages. Maybe even be willing to add a player, which I don't think the Raiders are going to be willing to do. They're not going to trade somebody like, say, Max Crosby in any of these trade scenarios, man, to bring a quarterback in. So where that could be done, the Raiders could trade up into the top 3. That's not. I don't think it's something that's likely. I would call it not likely. It's going to cost too much if there is even a opportunity. There may not even be an opportunity. Last year they tried to trade up into the top 3 and got denied. You know what I mean? It wasn't, whatever they came with wasn't good enough. And with all these teams that could do the same thing, we don't know if any package the Raiders put together can be good enough. And moreover, we don't know which quarterback they want. I think they should take Daniels. I like Daniels. I think Daniels the best of the three guys of May and Williams. I think Daniels, Jaden Daniels, the guy that won the Heisman at LSU. I think he's a better player. As I've broken down a little bit of tape in the last couple of weeks, I think he's fantastic, man. I see why he won the Heisman. I see why he's going to be a top draft pick. And with the ties to AP already, I can see why people are, the rumor about the Raiders going into the top three to try to grab him. Pause. So, hopefully the Raiders can grab a QB, but we didn't even get this whole thing started because I was talking about AP not even getting a nod, so to speak, from the players, the website where they, bet on the players and make the bets and all that. Those daily fantasy sites where he didn't even get odds on if he was going to be a coach of the year or not. All right. We'll take that as disrespect. All right, now, stick with me now, nation. Check this out, man. I'm on one. Now, if you hear this from anywhere else, we all know together that they follow. They just don't say nothing. Because I got all the hot takes. All right, so let me start this off like this right here. The Raiders got Michael Mayer at the tight end position. He is starter going forward. Hopefully his toe has gotten better. I know that can be crucial. So I hope the young man's toe is coming along better, progressing to where he's going to be okay. Hopefully that's not an issue. And we're going to talk about this situation right here as if that's not an issue. All right. So he's our guy. 602 snaps last year before he got injured. 27 receptions, 304 yards, 2 touchdowns. Mayer is due roughly $12 million through 2026. So he's locked up. So we got 24, 25, 26 with him under the contract that he's currently under. And he's going to be the starter. He came on as the season progressed, start to get a feel for the pro game. Had a nice touchdown catch against, let's say it was Indy. Had a nice touchdown catch right over a guy. Might have been KC. One of the guys, I forget, but you guys remember. Aiden chunked it over the guy, over the top of the defender, and Mayer went up and got it anyway. Mayer's going to be the tight end going forward. Also, he got better blocking. When the season first started, he was struggling. Mm-hmm. Another thing is struggling. That's an old Joe Willie reference anyway. Shout out to my bro. He's struggling. Anyway, Austin Hooper is unrestricted free agent, played 500 snaps. And we got a guy named Cole Fotheringham. That is a free agent as well. He played on a 1-year, $795,000 deal. All right. Pretty thin. talking about righting some wrongs, talking about helping the team, talking about a situation that can work out for all parties. I say let's bring Darren Waller back on a friendly. Stay with me. So if the Giants cut Waller, they don't cut him, he's due to make roughly 10.7 mil. Waller played in 11 games, played 500 snaps, 45 receptions, 535 yards, and 2 tugs. So he had 18 more catches than Mayer, 231 more yards, same amount of touchdowns as Mayer. Mayer's making, we said like 1.173 million he made last year. Waller made 11 plus. The Giants cut him post June, post 6-1, to release him. They saved that money, that 10.7 mil. They don't have to pay him that, and it's just a dead cap hit of 7.8 mil, which is not terrible. With that type of production, I don't see the Giants picking up this year under this contract and paying this out at 10.7 with that type of production. Giants are probably likely going to draft a tight end if they're going to stay with Daniel Jones or not. I'm thinking they're going to go into the tight end. They're going to be in the tight end market in the draft or free agency. I have them not picking up that contract, Waller, with that production. It's not worth it. It's not good money return on the dollar. So now, look what that does. Waller's girl still plays for the hoop team, right, in Vegas. So he wants to come back. We're not sure if Davis ever even really wanted to trade him. They seem like they had a pretty good relationship, and we never really got the word on that. The regime that was here before, Joshua and them, this would correct a wrong, another bullshit that they did that shouldn't have happened, right? Because we know it was a situation, this probably was an off the field reason why they traded D. Waller. All right. We had a chance to, if we was to make this happen, the Raiders make this happen, the Las Vegas Raiders make this happen, Telesco, Champ Kelly, my man Wooten that they hired, you guys make this happen, right? It's correcting what those guys did. That was wrong. Also, we get to keep the guy, Trey Tucker, right? That we traded him for, essentially, because that's who we picked with that pick that we traded New York Giants for, right? So now, we get to keep the guy that we traded Waller for. We get to bring Waller back for less. Waller doesn't have to be the main guy, so he can hopefully stay healthy. He gets to come back to the town with wifey. And we get a guy that we know really is a Raider back into the fold. And another target, man, for the new QB. Stay with me, Raider Nation. What you say? Bring him back on a team-friendly deal. I'm not saying veteran minimum, but something we can all live with. He can not have to be the guy. Meanwhile, show Mayer some tips, some ins and outs, pass route running, nuances of getting open. veteran stuff, tight end, in-line blocking and whatnot. Uh, I think it'd be a great idea. And if you hear anybody else saying it, you know that they truly are following me on the low from their burner phones, burner accounts. So we don't know that they're doing it, but we know they're doing it because I'm tapped in and I know foot and I know what the Raiders, the Las Vegas Raiders, need to do to win the National Football League. Right? So you're going to often hear me say stuff and then they come behind me and say something similar, like they made it up. But yeah, so we hired the QB coach, Rich Gangarello. I'm on the record as calling it suspect. We got some evidence of perhaps some following some burners from somebody with a huge platform that speaks on the Raiders, the Insider Podcast guy, talking about disrespecting AP after I had already said that. All right, maybe I'm tripping, B. You're right. You know what I'm saying? I'm tripping. Whatever. They follow from burners. Anyway. And then we're going to bring Waller back on a team-friendly deal. Waller's already made his money. He's to come back and be with wifey. Everybody's happy. Come back and mentor young Mayor. And then we can go about what we're going to do on the draft. So, okay, man, I ain't going to hold y'all. Nation, as I always say, just win, baby. And also, remember,